Good morning, everybody. Yes, we would like to use this today just to introduce you a bit about what we are doing in claims. But the context actually is that, not sure how many of you have heard about the Watson technology, which has been starting as an experiment a few years ago. It started with a game called Jeopardy, which the technology actually proved that it actually could outsmart the best Jeopardy player in America. And basically, the idea of this technology is to infuse as much as possible insight into processes. So now, over the last few years, we have been implementing the Watson technology in multiple industries, and especially the insurance industry, in our view, is very much a good target for applying this technology. It's very manual intensive still. There's a lot of documentation floating around. And still, there's still too much emphasis on internal data. So what we are trying to do over the last few years with many clients is basically to enhance the insights that people in your organization can have. So in this case, we talk about claims analysts, claims adjusters. How can we enable them to not only look at structured data, structured internal data, but also to structured external data, and even unstructured and external data. And thereby we believe that there's so much potential for enhancement. And just to make it a bit lively, we thought it would be actually nice to show you a small prototype, which we call the Watson prototype for claims, cognitive claims. And Arjen, my colleague, will just give you some feel for actually what it could mean in reality.
Good morning, everybody. I will show you our prototype. The objective of this demonstration is to show you that even complex claims can be handled in a straight-through process if you apply cognitive technology. The prototype is up there. As you see, there are multiple claims open. I have selected the claim for Miss Street. The claim status currently is green. And we see that she has a medical document attached to the claim. I will take you through this process step by step. In a straight-through process, all this will be done behind the screen, and potentially only the last screen will be shown to an analyst. It's a very complex claim. It's a claim related to a car accident where somebody got injured. So there's neck problems, there's back problems, and potentially there's a high value amount to be paid out. So we need to deal with this carefully. However, we need to deal with it fast. So the first thing I will do is enrich the claim data we have. And as you see, the claim took place on this location. And with a small call to a Bluemix API, we're able to see the location on the map. The next thing we can do is extract public data which is relevant on the date of the accident for the location of the accident. So this is external data which we make available to the claim process so it can be dealt with in the analysis. And this data we store with the claim. Next, what we do is we determine the complexity. In determining the complexity, we take the initial data of the claim as our input, which is unstructured data given by either the customer or an intermediary, and Watson makes this data structured. So this data becomes again available in your claims database to be analyzed by rule engines either on Bluemix or on Watson. And with this data, so the external data, the accident data, the location, and this data, Watson can determine that for now we think the complexity is high. And we store this data again together with the other data of the claim. Then we go into the next step, which is the liability assessment. And most pivotal in this process is that we reach out to your claims historical data, and we look for claims which are similar to this claim. since these claims typically can set the scene for the value we need to be prepared for to pay out. So Watson has found claims like this, that's how we call it, and analyzed it, and I'll get back to that. But for now, we store also this data in the claims database. Then the next step, we go into the medical document. And of course, this is just an example. Typically, for a claim, you would have multiple documents, but for this prototype, we take this medical document. And as you can see, Watson has analyzed the medical document and has found the neck injuries and the dizziness and the other problems this person has, and he has also investigated how to recover from this. If we look into the details, you will see some more information. Through a standard API call on Bluemix, we get the information and Watson puts it in a word cloud, which shows you instantly that this relates to neck pain. Then it has analyzed the injuries, the treatment, and Watson did analyze the text, and in the text found the problems we have here. And what he also did is assign an incident code to the problems the injured person has. So lots and lots of extra information coming from structured, unstructured data, internal data and external data. And also this we store in the claims database. So now we have all this data available. We have hundreds, maybe thousands of similar claims. We have internal data, external data. And now we're ready to go for a settlement strategy. And based on all this data, Watson advises the analyst to settle at a certain amount of money. Well, you could go straight through, and of course, normally you would have a checkpoint at this point in the process. All through the process, all this data is, of course, captured, and it's captured in an overall screen where we see the liability, the medical review, the settlement. We see that this missus had 2 earlier incidents, and we can also see the claims. And what Watson does is he rates the claims to how similar they are. If they're very similar, they're up there, and they're more important in the analysis. If they're less similar, they get downgraded and become less important in the analysis. So very short demo, very short prototype. Of course, we used mock-up data, but it does give you a feel that in a short time frame with lots of standard API calls, which are available on Bluemix, you can build a straight-through process even for complex claims. So this ends the demo.
Yeah, thank you, Arjen, and hope this is definitely a very short snapshot. When Arjen is actually going through this process, it almost looks like, yes, this is the way we have to go. I think many of you probably will say, very obvious, very, very natural that we go this direction. The whole complexity of this is, of course, how do you really get access to this data? How do you get it in a kind of speed to the analyst so that instantaneous decisions can be made? And obviously this is the capabilities that behind this process are really, really important. So for us in this market and the role that we see for IBM is to really help insurance companies on IT innovation. We somehow see the potential to merge the IT into the processes and make these improvements as just shown by Arjen this morning. Where we believe we should go as an industry is to actually not apply this to single products, get solutions for specific products, but establish platforms which will enable to do just similar for all forms of products, not only auto insurance, home insurance, health insurance, and maybe you could even think about life insurance. So with that, I would like to invite you also to visit ourselves in the booth. We are around today, and hopefully you got some inspiration from this demonstration this morning. If at all, and maybe Arjen demonstrated already this morning that he is a great potential claims analyst in your organization. So that could also be the kind of discussion you could start this morning. So with that, thank you very much and wish you a great day.